An award-winning London spoken word artist who counts the likes of Emily Sandé among his fans is preparing to release his first full collection of poems. Rhael Cape, better known by the stage name LionHeart, has spent the last 3 years developing the project. The Mutes Rebellion is being launched in Kentish Town next weekend. And before we hear from the man himself, let's take a look at him in action.
You're far from perfect. You've shown me signs to prove it too, but it's useless, You do this thing where speaking in a good mood brings tears to my eyes. I've memorized the sound of words leaving your mouth with a smile. I can't disengage now. My doubts are already down.
Just a little flavour there, LionHeart, of you in action. As a spoken word artist, you're better used to, I think, performing on the stage than writing on the page. Why have you decided to do this?
I feel like the page is a different stage. Like, you definitely have a different element of craftsmanship when you perform and when you write. And there's so much more, I feel like, intellectual depth that you can put on a page that you can't actually do on a stage. And it's challenging. You get out of your comfort zone when you write.
Tell us about this new book. It's called The Mutes Rebellion. I love that title. What's the story behind it?
The story behind it, I used to be a really quiet person in school, and no people really know this about me, but my personality has grown through just becoming a poet. It's really taken me out of my shell. And I used to have a thing called selective mutism, which is like a form of social anxiety. And I really struggled talking to certain people, just being in groups of people. And this has allowed me to kind of transform from being that quiet person to a really extravagant, powerful vocal delivery person.
I think a lot of people will be surprised to hear that someone that makes a living performing on stage to groups of people all over the world, in fact, in your case, at a time struggled so much with talking to people that, as you say, you had an anxiety issue. Why is it for you that spoken word was the direction you chose to take as an adult?
Do you know, I wanted to be a rapper when I was younger, I'm not gonna lie. I think everyone did. But poetry has a way of just making an incision in someone and just changing their life forever. And it had that effect on me. I remember watching like poetry videos on YouTube, and it was just like, there's something so emotionally gripping about this that I feel like this is my outlet. This is the perfect way that I can get my emotions clear to an audience.
And how much of your personal stories you tell in the book?
100%. Everything. Like, I'm 30 now. I don't even look it, but like, I've spent 30 years putting all of this in for 3 years' time into a body of work. So it's all about me.
The themes in the book range from, as you say, anxiety to issues of identity. For people that perhaps don't know much about poetry, about spoken word, what can they expect from it?
Expect shocking confessions. I feel like it's not always good to show the greatest things that you've done in life. Like, sometimes there are confessions that you can tell someone that can change their life for the good. So you can almost live vicariously through my experiences and come out on the other side thinking like, you know, I can be vocal, I can be vulnerable, I can be expressive however I want to be and still own who you are. The
book's being launched next weekend in Kentish Town. You've described the launch event as one that's going to be unique. Why?
Yeah, it's going to be very immersive. So it's a 3-day launch, literally sold out in like 3 days. And I've made sure that when you walk into this building, into this venue, you're going to have a completely different experience than you think you're ever going to have at a book launch, ever.